You made 94 of 100.
That's the most absurd thing.
I mean, you're a shooter. You're a three-point shooter. Could you ever have done something like that, or do you remember ever doing something like that?
If I put a number on how many I would make in a row, how many I would make out of 100 when I was in my prime and shooting every single day and at the peak, I know I could make probably 70, 75 out of 100 without question. 94 out of 100 is absurd, and how many to start
77
off? 77 to start off. That's absolutely.
Klay Thompson, I believe, said Klay Thompson said the most he made, I think, was 37.
Somewhere in the 30s.
Right in there in a row. 77 in a row.
I like,
ridiculous.
Steph Curry better be careful. He ever doesn't suffer an injury, like wires come out of his leg, and you realize he's not human.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, all right, the gig is up. You're not even a human being.
It's especially the nonchalant way he shoots at times.
It's I actually had an opportunity to go out and do some stuff with him before the three-point contest, and we got to shoot around in the gym and do this, and it's just, you're right, it's just such an easy flick and an afterthought, and he shoots and he doesn't even watch it. He was talking while shooting, and he continues to make them. So even for a guy like myself that made a living out of shooting, and that's what I did, and other shooters that you take a lot of pride in what you do. Even for great shooters, you marvel at what he is doing. And I think he has, by the time he's done, if he stays healthy and he has a 15-year career, you're going to look back and say this is the greatest shooter we've ever seen.
It's amazing.
It's one thing for two schlubs like Golic and I to see those threes hit consecutively and say, oh my gosh. But for a great three-point shooter like you to say that's the most ridiculous thing you've ever heard. Now we know that was absurd with Steph Curry. He was the star of last night, even though he didn't play in an actual game going on. Next question with Legs is coming up. Continue to tweet at Mike and Mike with the hashtag AskLegs on the NBA's final regular season day, getting ready for the postseason. But first, a word from
Here with Warriors guard Steph Curry. There's a little rumble going around that finishing 39-2 at home, winning out this week, means something to you guys. Why is that? Why is it so important to get these last two when you don't need it for the standings?
We want to continue to build momentum into the playoffs, and obviously our first two playoff games will be at home, so to continue that winning mentality, we have some stuff that we want to work on these next two games to get ready for whoever our first round opponent will be, and we want to do that by winning. We don't want to slow down at all at this point in the season.
How much Steph Curry will we see over these last two games?
That's up to that guy right there, Coach. I'm planning on playing both games, and probably won't be crazy minutes, but I'm going to approach it like a playoff game with just how we play and execute on the floor when I'm out there, and however the game goes, I'm sure Coach will try to make the right decisions.
It's been a whole week since I've been around this team, so a whole week since I've asked you about the MVP race. How do you feel about your chances now that we're getting down to these last couple regular season games?
Same answer as it's always been, man. I just want to finish the year strong. We have an opportunity, like I said, to do some good things these next two games to get ready for the playoffs, and hopefully I'll play well and continue that push, and then we'll see what happens.
It emerged in the last week, though, that the union's going to do a players-only vote. You won't be able to vote yourself for MVP. What direction do you think you'll go when you cast your own MVP ballot?
I don't know. Obviously, there's some great choices, obviously, the guys that we've been talking about all year. But we can't go wrong, I think, with who we pick. It's just a matter of how we finish the season. And I think we'll be in a good situation regardless of how that all plays out.
Last thing, how closely are you following the battle between the Thunder and the Pelicans for the number 8 spot?
I watch the scores every night. I mean, I'm a fan of the league. Just you got to know the landscape of what's going on, especially the playoffs, to kind of get ready. So I know a lot can happen these next two games, and they're obviously big games for pretty much everybody in that 1 through 9 spot. Just to finish out the year strong and how the standings end up, but it doesn't matter really who we play because I think they're both strong opponents that we have to take seriously and be ready for whatever that happens this weekend.
Good luck tonight.
Appreciate that.
That was the tape, Mark Stein. Now the live and in effect Mark Stein joins us from Oakland. And Mark, we just heard Steph say he's paying attention to that race for 8th, but who would Golden State rather play, the Thunder or the Pelicans?
Yeah, for some reason they don't want to just come right out and tell us, which would obviously make it easy, but I have to think it's Oklahoma City, as maybe outlandish as that sounds on the surface, because we spent weeks and weeks and weeks talking about how the Thunder are going to be the most scary number 8 seed we've ever seen, but that was with Kevin Durant coming back. That was with Serge Ibaka coming back. If you really study the way this Thunder team has operated here the last couple of weeks, they can't guard anyone. I think Golden State would absolutely cut them to ribbons offensively, the way they have the ball moving, and with all the defensive problems that the Thunder have had here of late. New Orleans doesn't have experience, that's true, but New Orleans is getting closer to being whole with Ryan Anderson coming back, with Drew Holiday playing. At least they're trending in the right direction health-wise. Oklahoma City is going to be severely shorthanded if that's the matchup. So the reality is I don't think either team can beat Golden State, but Oklahoma City's in a more vulnerable position right now.
Pelicans may be trending in the right direction health-wise, but the Grizzlies are not. They've been without Tony Allen since March 27th. And Marc Gasol, he left their last game early with an ankle injury, not to mention Mike Conley's missed the last 2 games. What's the latest on Marc Gasol's status for tonight?
Well, the good news is Gasol is going to play. He went through shoot-around. You might even be able to see him over my shoulder a little bit if he's still out there. He was getting some time out here.